I think to write a provisional patent application, it's all about the details. And sometimes you don't know where to get those type of details. Watch this video. I'm going to show you exactly how I get the details that are important to put in your provisional patent application. Okay, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the details that you need to put in your provisional patent application. And sometimes these details are so important, but you're not an expert in certain areas. So this is what I do. Many of my provisional patent applications, I always put a lot of manufacturing techniques because sometimes that information is really important. And most applications, PPAs or even non-provisional patent applications, there's no information on how to actually make your product, and I think that's a problem. So this is what I like to do. If I need more information on how my product is going to be made, I find the person that knows more than I do. So how do I find that information to put in my provisional patent application that I think is really important? One of the first things I do to do a little bit of homework so I can put the right details in my provisional patent application is go to YouTube and see if I can find the manufacturing process on something that's similar to my idea. So now I'm watching this video, and most of these videos are made from the companies that are producing the equipment. So once I've got the name of the manufacturers, I can find those companies on LinkedIn. And once I find the name of the company on LinkedIn, I can hit the little tab that says people, and it will give me all their employees. Now, sometimes when I'm looking through their employees, some of them have left, some have retired. I'm trying to find an ex-employee of one of these manufacturers to ask some basic questions. So once I find the right person, I'll reach out to that person that has maybe retired or gone off and is doing something else and ask him if I could have a couple hours of his time. I have a few questions and I will pay you. I have them sign an NDA with work for hire language, meaning anything they tell me, I own. So once I get that person on the line, and it has to be the right person that understands how things are manufactured. It has to be most likely an engineer. And once he's signed the NDA and he's given me a rate per hour, what he's going to charge me, I can ask him now, how would my product be made? And once he starts to disclose to me some of that information I can put in my provisional patent application, I might even ask that person, what other ways could my product be made? Are there any workarounds, any variations? When I'm really asking that person, hey, steal it from me and tell me what all the different ways that my product could be made so I can include that information in my provisional patent application. Because now, not only have I protected the invention, but I've now protected the innovation because I have workarounds and variations of all the different ways my product could be made. To have this level of detail that you put in your provisional patent application now has value because the devil is in the details. The reason why I like to do it this way, it takes extra work, yes, and you don't have to do it with every project that you have. But if manufacturing is going to be important and you want to have a lot of details and you want to make sure that provisional patent application, once you file a non-provisional patent application and it gets issued, I want this level of detail. When you put this level of detail in your provisional patent application, and when you show it to a potential licensee, trust me, they're impressed that you've done this type of work, and now they trust you. You know what you're talking about. I was working on this one project that had to do with coffee cup lids, and this variation of this coffee cup lid, I didn't quite sure how it was going to be manufactured, but once I found the video, I could see exactly how it's going to be manufactured, and I knew right away it wasn't going to cost any more money. That's why some of these videos on watching how something is going to be made can be extremely important. When you get the advice from someone that's worked in the field, some engineer that's worked on these manufacturing lines, the information they can provide you is absolutely priceless because it's real, it's current, and they know how to provide that information to you to make sure you're filing the right intellectual property on how your product can be manufactured the most efficient way. Now, what I just told you seems a little complicated, but it's truly not, because what you're doing is really being a detective. And realize, only you can do this type of work. If you hire a patent attorney or a patent agent, they're not going to do this type of work because it does take work. You have to do it. And that's why I'm doing this video. Because if you go to that extra length of doing this type of work, and once you file your PPA yourself, or maybe you hire somebody, that type of information, when you start to work with a patent agent or a patent attorney, now they can do a great job for you because you have that level of detail. You provided them with enough information so they can do a good job for you. So this is what I do when I work on my projects, because manufacturing is really important to do it the fastest, the most efficient way to do it. Because at the end of the day, these companies are asking me, Steve, what is the return on investment? What is it going to cost to actually manufacture it? Is it going to add any more cost? Tell me that type of information. Because in my industry, I need to have those type of answers. Because if I let them try to figure it out, I don't like it. I want to know in advance how my product's going to be made, what the cost is going to be, and how it's going to impact their supply chain, how is it going to impact their manufacturing line. So I have all that information, I have filed that information, I own that information. That gives me leverage when I'm talking to companies. That gives me enough leverage to get the right deal. That gives me enough leverage to take away risk. That gives me enough leverage for these companies to want to work with me. If you need more help on your intellectual property strategy, please call me. I do this all the time because I'm going to look at it not only from a legal perspective, but from a business perspective, and making sure you get paid for your ideas. If you have any more questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me, Stephen@patentyourinventions.com. And here's my channel up here. And if you want to watch more videos, please click here.